perspective.
Maria had to go in the first story and the first say, um, wherever you think best. If you can feel nobody you after you get married and you're dedicated with your husband and your work and your stuff, uh, you don't forget your folks. You don't forget them, and you get to see them. You appreciate them. Where do your folks live?
Yankton, South Dakota.
Okay. How far is that from you?
6 hours.
Okay. That's where Hope is too, you know. Not in Yankton,
I
but
think
she's
she's
She
in
is?
North Dakota.
she's in North Dakota.
How'd you know that?
She met
You
her.
said today, no.
No?
Didn't walk. I thought you said she was. Oh wait.
No, Hope is Shannon's
Oh, then
stepmom.
I don't know.
She's in North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets there. She takes up from her teaching when she got her vacation days.
Mm-hmm.
But her mother is very, very, very sick. She's been running back and forth, and it's hard on Hope. And she has another sister that's living nearby there. But Hope does more for her mother than her sister. And I told Hope, I said, Hope, you got to be careful that you don't ruin your health, because she is in her change of life, and it's kind of hard on her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's teaching too.
Now, how did you know when you met your husband? Because he was a lot older.
Okay,
How did you know you wanted to marry him?
Aren't you 13 years apart?
12,
12 years.
not quite 12, 10, 11,
Hold on, okay.
10.
That's a long time.
Well,
It'd be like me dating someone who's 30.
in our
I'm
day,
35.
I'll tell you how it was. Clem was a good Catholic man. I had that in me. I wanted to be a nun. He was praying that I would not be a sister. See, he went into service too.
Yeah, I'm surprised because he was kind of older for not. He was never
Yep.
married.
Never married. And he stayed home taking care of their store. Granny's had a Holdingford store.
Oh.
And he was faithful to the store there. And he did have a girlfriend. Somehow.
Grandpa had a girlfriend? Before, when he met you?
Yeah, he had a couple girlfriends.
When he met you? That's kind of gossip.
Scandalous.
I couldn't believe this, but he did. And her name was Emily.
Well, you remember her name
Oh,
even.
you bet you I do.
Why?
It was, because I knew her as Emily. And she was not his type.
No, but you were.
Glenn was a hard man to please. I'm going to tell you something for a boyfriend. He was hard to please.
In what way?
He said he hated girls. He didn't hate them, but some of them were kind of silly.
Oh, he wanted someone serious, huh?
He wanted someone that was more of character, he said to me. That's the words he used. Religious character and appreciated things. Well, coming from a large family as I did, knowing what poverty was, although I was very lucky, I was brought up in a priest home in Superior, Wisconsin. I stayed with Monsieur Nabowski and my aunt, Martha Campos. She was his housekeeper. And God blessed me with good brains. I got to admit it. I made my 8th grades in 6 years.
Oh, wow.
I made my high school in 3.
I didn't know that.
But, oh yes. And you only needed 32 credits to graduate. I graduated with 40.
In 3 years?
In 3 years. I had no study periods. Never.
Well.
But I had a good memory. God bless me with a good memory. And I went to Mass and Holy Communion, walking up to high school. I had passed the Cathedral Church. I stopped in there quickly so I could receive Holy Communion. I was a great believer of Holy Communion. I couldn't stay for the Mass because I had to go about 6 more blocks to get to the high school.
Mm.
So in that way, I say, and then when I was a teacher, here I am teaching, and I enjoyed teaching. I was in lower grades, and I had a music department. because I love music. You didn't play yet, you play. And, and Jerry Toma, he played the upper grades, and he took the FIAT, and boy, was I glad. He could take that. But I took his music again with the girls and the boys. And then one day when I'm teaching, here comes Mr. Sprandel, the county superintendent of schools. And I was just having math with my fourth graders. And I was so mad at that Donnie Gorka, I can still remember that little cute kid. He had the hardest time remembering tables.
Mm.
You know, and I was you gotta start remembering more. And I said, because you're gonna have a car someday, you're gonna go in front of a gas station and get gas in your car, and you're not even gonna know how much to pay for, or if you got cheated. And I was going, hell, but one of the kids said, Mrs. Lampert, there's a man standing watching you. I look, and there's the county superintendent of schools.
Oh my
I
gosh.
said, wow. Now what do I do? And he said to me, just keep on, you're doing very well. And he said, you know, you boys, you better listen to Miss Lambert. She's telling you the truth. If you don't learn to your tables, you're going to have a hard time in life. Well, that relieved me a little bit. But just prior, before he came, Mr. Boros came with a nice, beautiful, hot cherry pie. It was the day that George Washington never told a lie.
Oh yeah.
And all that stuff, and his wife could bake pies. Oh, could she bake them? And I look in that desk, and there on top of my desk was this pie, and I thought, oh, if he walks up, he sees that too. And then we had to take our own lunches at that time. Lucky my mother put in another sandwich in there for some reason or other, just like as the Lord told her. And when the kids were eating their dinner, then he wanted to talk to me, and he said, you know, you have Mrs. Kesberg died, the assistant county superintendent of schools.
Weren't you assistant county superintendent?
And he was looking for a helper. He was looking for an assistant county. And he came to me and he said, you have all the credentials I need as an assistant county superintendent. And he says, I would like you to become my assistant. And I said, no. Just like that. I said, and he said, why? Because I like teaching. Well, I'll let you go teach, he said. I'll let you substitute in between your work when any of the teachers get sick. It was 151 districts plus the city school we had. So I still was hesitant until my mother, I said to him, my mother's not feeling well. She has Parkinson's coming on. And Little Falls, that means, and that was quite a ways, and Bolos and Elmdale was closer. You need to think about it. He said, you're going to get 1/3 raise more than what you do in your teaching.
Mm.
So I thought, so I went home and told my mom about it and Dad, and she said, oh, Mary, do you realize what an honor you're getting? All the teachers that they have had there in the county for so long, and he's asking you. I said, but Mom, I like teaching so much. I do. She said, I'll tell you what, take the job. I took the job. I never was sorry I ever took it. He was the most wonderful superintendent I had. I had my own office. He had his own. We had a little hallway there from his office to my office. Mine was called the troublesome office, where they would come and hash things over if there was any trouble with the board members too, and things. And you know what, another thing? Then comes the tail. You have 3 sheets typed with names, teachers' names, board members' names. He said, I would like you, if you could, try to remember all these teachers' names, and then tell me, listen to this, tell me, he said, and when they come in, announce it out loud, saying what district they're in, so I'll know where they're at. And I said, Mr. Sprandel, all these names you want me, well, I didn't say that you had to do it overnight. Oh, God. I said, this will take me a year, and then some. Well, do it as you think. And so sure enough, I learned those names. And I had and he had a
Oh
glass
my
plate,
God.
and he had a glass plate on his desk. And underneath that glass plate, he had the district maps of all the schools. So when I said, "Good morning, Miss Bradley. How's everything in District 5A today?" I'll never forget that. And he quickly had a look at 5A, and he knew she was in Royalton area. That's my brains that God gave me.
Yeah.
But now I can't sometimes remember people's names.
Yeah.
Makes me mad. I get memory lapses. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's not so nice.
No.
But I told that to doctor, and he said, "Oh, Mary, be grateful what you know."
I mean, I can't remember a lot of stuff. You're just totally with
No,
it.
I do. It's Holy Communion. I go to Mass and Holy Communion on Jesus every morning at Mass. I said, "Oh,
He's
Jesus,
kind of a memory booster.
keep me memory, yes, to the Holy Spirit. Keep me mentally alert. I need you."
Mhm.
Well, Grandma, you have a lot of stuff that's being. I mean, like even at 80. I mean, you have all your own teeth for starters.
Every bit.
A lot of people don't have their own teeth at
I
80.
know that. Oh,
You
dear.
know?
You're up, walking around. Do you drive or no?
I walk. I drive and walk, but I will not drive to the cities.
Oh, I don't blame you.
No,
Mhm.
I would never get home. No, I wouldn't get home.
Who was your? I was gonna ask of all your kids, which one was the most unruly? Like, the most difficult. You know, they were always getting into trouble.
Believe it or not, no, I don't want you to think I'm boosting. We were blessed with the nicest bunch of kids you could ever think of. When I see now what these kids do to their parents and the way they, our kids, we taught them to pray rosary every night all around this kitchen parlor, and Glenn would be sitting there leading the rosary, or we took turns. We'd lead one deck and another one had to take another deck and another one. We took turns like that. And Clem was a firm believer of prayer and asking the Blessed Mother to guide the children. I will say that they were equally about the same. The only time it would be, remember we had only one car,
Yeah.
and that car was insured under the funeral home. So when one kid wanted to drive the car, I would always say, "You gotta have that car back by 11:30, quarter to 12. And be careful how you drive, because if you have an accident, I'm broke. It'll be under the funeral home insurance." We were poor when we started out, let me tell you. And then the kids would come, you know, like say, Richard would come out and say, "I need that car tonight. I want that car. It's got it." And I said, "What did Dad say?" I'd always come back. Dad was the head of the house. He was the head, and thank God I kept it that way. And he said, "How come you always depend on Dad for everything?" I said, "Because he's the head of the house here, head of the family, and I don't want no more worries. And I don't want no counteractions with him." So, then he'd go, it was his turn, all right. Then Terry wanted it, Marty wanted it. So we had to actually have a calendar with X's on there, which one's gonna have it for that week, and not for every day, oh no, once a week.
Dad told me that there was a timeline that they all had to be in by. Like, what was the curfew? 11? 10?
11:30, quarter to 12. And you know what's the funny thing, in that back bedroom, that bed you saw? He would, you think he was sleeping. Oh no. He would, when the garage door went down, then you'd hear him. Then he'd snore. And he'd snore. He'd fall asleep just like that in a matter of minutes.
Mhm.
He knew they were safely back in their nest.
Dad told me a story of one time because they would sometimes come back too late and they would shut the engine off and push the car so that nobody could hear. You know?
Oh,
And
what
then-
they didn't do
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in that way. But they were, you know, when you stop to think though, they were good. Oh, today is. Everybody has to have their own car. You gotta have their own car. Everybody's got their own. You go to a parking lot there at school, it's loaded with all the kids' cars. Why? I don't know. But they got.
Mm-hmm.
And debt too, let me tell you. A lot of parents are just driving themselves crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Both parents going back to work because they, and never go into a house situation where you got home payments to make. My CCD students tell me, this is sad, Sarah. I said, "Don't you children ever read your textbook at home, your religion book at home with your parents?" Oh, Mrs. Brenny, if you only knew, my my mother works in the hours. My dad works. When we come from school, we jump out of the bus. We look in the refrigerator to see if there's anything left over to eat. We watch TV a little bit. We jump into bed. We jump out of bed, jump onto the bus. They don't want us to wake us up because they came home late. So some of those kids don't see their parents until Friday night, the weekend. I've got a little boy that I take sandwiches to school. I mean to CCD. Apple or something. His mother, they're divorced. We've got 3 families in my room divorced. And this one, he looks so weak and so sickly and so tired. He's trying to keep away. Nicest boy, he wouldn't hurt nobody. And I said, what'd you have for supper? You look so tired. I didn't have any supper. I said, you didn't? There was nothing there. There was no milk left in the pot. And I said, well, where was your mother? Well, she went out with her girlfriends and she didn't come back yet. That's the life of the kids today. Pray for them. Pray for those children. When they grow up, what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm. So what are some of the major changes that you've noticed in your life? Like from the time when you were born until now? Like changes in the world or?
My greatest changes was after Clem's death.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be pretty lonely. And at first I thought I'd never get over that. I really didn't. And many of the time I came here and I'd look at that Blessed Virgin Mary and Sacred Heart and I said, you got to do something for me here or else I'm just going to break loose or have a nervous breakdown or something. I'm so lonely. And then I remembered the rosary. Clem was a rosary man. And so I started saying, sit down and start praying. But then I got more attuned, little by little. But I have to realize, and then also when Maria, when she left, she was my last baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
She left too. She had to go on her own. I couldn't be selfish to say, well, you stay, get a job right here, make him get a job here where it's close by. Mm-mm. So those are the things of having a rich lot of companions and being busy with the ambulances and with the funeral business and working like a horse.
Mm-hmm.
I used to iron 20 ambulance sheets a week by hand.
Wow.
Because there was no money for a mangle or something like that. And they had to be ironed just so that they could be split thin, folded so they could fill into those compartments. And when they would go on an accident scene, those boys were all dressed up in cute outfits,
Yeah.
blue and white. All those had to be washed and pressed
Wow.
and ready to go.
Wasn't there was a black and white paper photo that you used to have on the fridge that was cut out of a newspaper, remember? And it was all the Brenny boys on a Christmas or something, or all the.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I would like to find that.
It was on your refrigerator. Remember that?
I don't know what happened to it.
Oh.
Gee, I would love to find
Do you remember what I'm talking about, though?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Our kids, they were dressed up. Did their hats, the regular hats, and that kept them busy too. That's another thing that kept the kids busy. That ambulance work.
We just came back from Salt Lake City. We had a wedding up there, and Mike got married, and he got married to. She's Mormon, right?
She's a Mormon.
She's
girl.
Mormon. Was it
Nice girl.
that had to be hard, I think, to you for because I'm sure Sister Gretty is even kind of like
Sister Grady did not approve of it at first.
She does now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I think without of convincing, I told her, I said, Sister Grady, I met her. Mike brought her home. She was just as nice as you could be. She tried to tell me that she was not responsible for being born Mormon, nor more was Mike responsible for being born Catholic. She's very what could I say? A very matured girl and a lot of sense. And so she said, Grandma, I hope, and she called me Grandma right after that, without name. And, she said, Grandma, I hope you don't think wrong of me for being a Mormon because I cannot help that I am a Mormon. She said, I don't feel any different than if I were a Catholic or Mormon, she said. She went with Mike to the Catholic Church here with us, and I'll tell you what big sacrifice she made for a bride. A bride that gets married in this Mormon church is supposed to be just an extent, beautiful most wedding, although she had a beautiful wedding as it was. See, she gave that up to marry Mike because Mike remained Catholic. But how long can he remain Catholic? I don't know. When the children start coming, and they're going to have them, believe me, because Mormons believe in having children. So, but her dad, who is the bishop of that area, all of us from Little Falls that were there, were very impressed. If you caught the message when he said that Mike was brought up by a strong Catholic family, he was telling, and he gave recognition to the Catholic Church, and the people from Little Falls that represented it, they thought it was wonderful. So who knows? Maybe she might become a Catholic, maybe may not. But you cannot condemn her because she's a Mormon.
Mm.
And
do you
we
think
believe a lot of church, let me tell you.
do you think that true love overrules, your religion?
In their case, it did. Because Mike and her broke up many times.
Mm.
They got together, they broke up, they got together. Sally even flew to California. And Mike lost 25 some pounds. He lost interest in everything. And Sally actually worried that he would do something to himself. Because you hear about suicides. Not saying that he would do it, no. But it can happen to the bestest of families, whether you condone it or not. And of course, nobody condones that. I don't. Nobody else does. I don't. Everybody. And he actually told Sally that he loved her so much that it meant everything to him, and so did she. They were the two of them were like, and I could tell in church when they were in church only friends, they were holding hands all the time and whatnot. And I said, oh, bye bye.
You mean like you're gonna get married? Bye bye. Bye bye. You're gonna get married.
You're going to be married. I knew that.
Did you and Grandpa ever break up and get back together and break up and get back together?
We always stayed together.
Oh,
How long did you date?
Well, when he was in service 3 years, I knew him. I wrote letters to him.
oh, do you have those letters?
No, I don't have them handy. I kept some of them.
Mm.
But I said, I told Clem, I said, in the letters, I was terrible. I think of it. I said, and if you find a girl up there, don't depend on me too much because I might still join the convent.
Oh.
I was not engaged yet.
Kind of teased him.
Yeah. So I did. I don't know. I mean, you got to resource to prayer. That's your greatest outcome. Prayer.
Mhm. For everybody who's like having a hard time
And
and
everything. And everything. In work, and what even like with Joe and Lottie, they gotta pray those two together too.
Mhm.
And
That can be sometimes hard, I think.
very hard.
You know.
It can be very hard. You have to know, like a girl, if she, where did she go?
Sarah.
She went probably to the bathroom or where?
She might have. Yeah, she probably went to.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it's advice for her, then let her hear it. You know,
Oh,
she's
my God.
nice.
Well, you've been a darling in so many ways.
Mhm.
I cannot get over that. That's it. Oh, just tell her how did she.
I know, isn't it nice?
I feel badly now because I didn't give you guys enough money yet.
Oh, please, Grandma, it's not about that.
Oh.
You've been so supportive and so nice to us.
Yeah, but I gotta do. I'll make up for it.
No, don't.
Yeah, well.
I'm glad.
Where you
I'm just
going
glad
for
you like
Christmas?
it.
What are you gonna do for Christmas?
I'll go to Mom's because Dad'll be in
Oh
Europe,
yeah.
and then I was gonna plan on spending some time with Dad, but he leaves here pretty quick.
We better call him up.
Mm-hmm. So,
Be sure you call him, talk to, he's leaving Saturday.
yeah,
They said Saturday. Rondell's going, the whole works are going there.
yeah. So, that should be fun though for
Yeah,
them.
let him be. I mean, there's Christmas there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she's gonna be coming back then, you know,
Yep.
from Germany too.
Mm-hmm.
She's graduating there. Lottie's graduating from, not Lottie, but, the Rhonda that's graduating in Europe.
Robin,
Robin, she took a course there.
my.
Now, I'm gonna tell you something. I did all the talking.
Oh gosh.
What do you, wait, I'll share with you. What do you expect of a good husband?
Oh, I have a long list.
Okay,
Yeah, it's too long.
He has to want to travel, and he has to have the same morals that I have, and he has to get along well with my family and my friends, and he has to have an open mind, and he has to be, I don't know, just fun to hang out with, good at conversation. I don't know. Just
No,
someone who wants
okay.
to do fun things.
you eluded all the fun things to me, which is good, which is all right.
Okay.
But now, what are some of the serious livable things that would hold you together?
Like as far as financial, like I would hope he would be a conservative or moderate spender, like not someone who's gonna live beyond his means,
Okay.
which I kind of lump that in with having the same morals. Someone who's, clean, who shares in the household duties, who does the dishes with me or the laundry or whatever, sharing in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who we would make decisions together regarding children and discipline. So more of a shared sort of relationship.
Good, fine. Now I'm gonna revert when we're back to you. What do you think that a woman should be, a girl should be to a husband?
Well, I think they're equal partners. So I don't know if I should be anything. I would be, I hope, the same that he is to me. I would be that in return.
Mm-hmm. What about children?
I want them. 4.
That's always a good feature. I know of girls that, honest to God, I don't know what's wrong with them. They want to get married, but they say right off the bat they don't want no kids.
No, I want kids, but I don't
And I
want to
tell
wait.
to them, what's holding your marriage? A child is, you know what a child is to a woman? I really shouldn't tell this to anybody, to you. A child to a woman is a life insurance.
No, that's not. What do you mean, a life insurance?
Well, it's a protection for her. If she's got something to hold on to.
Well, I think that's why a lot of people have babies, like teenage girls, because they want someone to love them.
Yeah.
So they have a baby.
A lot of them want money support.
Well, but that's not life. I know tons of people that don't get child support.
No, because they're stinkers, the other way.
Right.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that doesn't guarantee.
But a lot of them do that.
A lot of the times it guarantees you money, like financial assistance from
I've
the county.
heard that girls tell me that, and I say, "Are you crazy?"
Right.
I said, "Why would you want to get married and depend on a man to do that for you? When it's miserable, Voda." Do you ever listen to that Dr. Phil's program in the afternoons that's on Channel 10? Oh, there was a good one there about married couples, what one should do for the other, And they brought up that some actually said she got married because she thought she'd get a child support. And he said, "Is that the only reason you got married?" And then he said, "Right, he's factual. He's so on everybody's just crazy." My sister from the cities told me to watch that. Once in a while I do. And I happened to hit that program at that time. And then he said, "If you were my wife, I'll tell you to get out of that back door as fast as you came in."
Oh, really?
He said that?
He said, because you're not supposed to get married with the idea that you're going to be supported. You're supposed to both work together. That's it. both work together. But you had the right idea. You could both and be prayerful together. Be
Yeah.
of the same religion if possible. Um, I'll tell you, when I got married, I worked. Did where I clean out that funeral home upside down, scrub that great big chapel with those maple floors.
Hmm.
But I don't regret it now. Because that you both work for the main purpose, right? To get together. How old are you now?
I will be, thanks for freaking me out, 26 in 2 months.
In 2 months.
26.
And how old are you gonna be?
I'll be 25.
Nice, nice.
I think they're good ages.
Absolutely, a beautiful age.
What do you
together.
think? So, what do you think about girls marrying girls and boys marrying boys? What do you think
They're
of
nuts. They're crazy.
Why?
Girls marrying girls?
or boys marrying boys?
Oh, that's not even human. They're nuts.
There's a lot of people though that are.
Don't ever follow that track. Oh my God. When it hits a certain peak, they all will be nuts. I
So-
mean it.
But what do you think about these people who say like they can't help it, like they just feel that way, and you know?
That's a bunch of screwball. They get themselves, and that's the way they talk.
Do you think it's because they're born that way, or they're raised that way, or?
I think some of them have forgotten religion.
Okay.
Some of them have forgotten God. They just let themselves go on the devil's side and no other side.
But then, because I think there's maybe some monks at St. John's who are priests, or you know, but they're probably homosexual.
Well, a lot of them aren't. But those that are, they're sick. You can tell they're sick. They
Yeah.
admit they're sick.
So they just don't. They're priests, but they just don't really have God.
They are. I really don't know. I would want to be accountable to God for that. I really don't know. You know what? When the priest errs, let me tell you, they're in the worst mental state that you can ever find anybody be. You hear it. They just go mentally sick. Like Brother Roman came and he said he had friends, and then a couple of his close friends, they found out they were child abuse, and he never even knew it. He did not even know that. But he said right now, he said, Mary, how grateful I am I never fell into that type of sin.
Yeah. But you know that one guy we know he's a homosexual? He's such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. He's real. Yeah, there's
Because at first I kind of thought, oh, that's weird. But like, he's just a nice person, you know? Just like people, I think of how people used to be mean to black people just because they were black.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you know, that's just crazy. Why would you be mean to someone because they're black? Or why would you, you know, he's the nicest.
Why did he, homosexual is not a natural thing, you know that, don't you?
But animals are homosexual.
No, I'm not referring to animals now.
Oh.
Human beings, a homosexual human being is not normal. And it's not a normal thing. They tell you that. They know that. They know that. They know that. But they're trying to sort of not educate, I'll call it education, maybe the best way. They're trying to turn it over to the public.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the normal way, Like a guy can go and shoot you down and say, well, he was born that way, he just shut him down, There's nothing. I'd be scared to be with a homosexual. I don't care how nice they are, but I'd be scared to be with them.
Because you think he would like kill you or what?
What?
You think he would kill you?
No, not that. I don't know. I wouldn't have that respect for him. Number one. Number two, you can't trust them. What they will do.
Mm-mm.
They get. I know several of them. They're mental.
Oh, you know people who are? And here in Little Falls?
Not exactly Little Falls.
Like in Minnesota, you mean?
Mm-hmm. St. Cloud. My sister Regina. And he works for the hospital there, her husband, and he said, oh my God. We got on that subject one time. He said, oh, the neighbors don't even, I don't even want to go into their room. They're so damn sick. It hits them,
You mean they're physically sick?
physically
With
sick.
what?
Oh, that.
They get they know themselves that that is not normal. They know that that isn't normal.
Oh, but the friend that we have is the nicest person. Like, you would never even know if he didn't tell you. He's so nice.
What does he do when he's a homosexual? Tell me.
What do you mean?
He's an accountant.
No, what
Oh.
does he do as a homosexual?
Well, he dates men
Yeah, and for what reason?
because he loves them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I
And he screws up together.
Well, I don't know
They're
if he does.
dirty. They're the dirtiest, filthiest people, sweetheart. Don't ever, ever get involved with too much of that. They are filthy, dirty people.
I don't know that he screws around with them. I think.
Oh,
he,
they won't tell you. They're secretive until they get into a hospital. You should talk to Wayne Larman. He's on the. He knows that subject too well.
Wayne Lauerman.
Yeah, that's my brother-in-law.
I worked with him at Miller.
Well, okay, and two daughters. Two daughter-in-laws there. Oh, Jesus. They're not. Don't trust them.
Interesting.
Don't trust them.
Do
They're
you think
not
they have?
normal.
Do you think they have homosexuals in the Holy Land?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't.
cause you went to the Holy Land recently, didn't you?
Yeah, but who would ever think of that over there? You don't.
Because you said that the Holy Land is there's no crime there.
They're beautiful people. They were there, but now look what they're doing there. Oh, it's
Yeah.
awful what they're doing there. Greed, money greed, and kind of land possessions. They went overboard on, homosexuals go overboard on their way of thinking. Down there they went on over land. Land. And then what are you going to do with all that land after they do get it? What's there to do? They kill all their people, there won't be nobody there to reside even on that land. Mm-mm.
Because when were you there last?
1997.
And then there was no war there,
No.
and now there.
Now they
Well,
got
there's
no
always
respect for
been-
nobody.
Yeah.
But like you say, they were always bickering about
Always
something.
not been
Land,
good.
land, land, land. You know what I mean?
Now
Too
it's
much.
more.
No. Would you
Um,
like some ice cream?
Sure. I'll
I
have
got
some.
ice cream.
I would. Before you go, I want to hear you play piano.
No, I can't play
You
piano.
play?
I play, but not so much
Oh.
anymore.
I'll play a song if you play a song.
No, you play, because my fingers
I want
are-
you to play one.
Look at this finger, don't even
You
want
can
to
play one song. How great thou art. You know that song.
I don't even know that piece.
You
Not by heart anymore.
one song, one short 1 minute song. You can do
I
it.
don't think I can do it because
Mhm.
I cannot do it.
Well, give it a shot. See
No,
if it doesn't work with.
My fingers go to heck. They're not. This finger here will bend and then it won't want to go back.
Really?
That's the trouble there. I don't know. Look good there. I told you.
That sounds like Winter Wonderland.
See this one fourth finger don't want to hit the key. This one is supposed to echo back.
I like the trills.
I can't, you know, my finger, my fourth finger. I used to love to play.
You're good.
Yeah, I love to play.
Because you used to play organ too, don't you?
Yeah. I love to play. I don't know if I got that thing in tune anymore, but
Mhm.
you're gonna have to play now.
I'll
for
play
me.
one song for you.
You're gonna play.
Okay.
And then we're gonna record your song too. I don't know if this one is gonna go. Clem used to sit there and make me play, believe it or not.
So you're gonna play?
Yeah, I'll try this one. I'll see what happens. I don't even know how to set this.
This
so I
is
can-
51 minutes. Oh, I was wondering about that actually.
I don't have to know how to fix it. Chuck was here, and oh, could he play?
Chuck? I didn't know
Mhm.
Chuck. I knew he played accordion, but I
Chuck
guess
plays.
same kind of thing. That's beautiful, Grandma.
There.
Wow, that was good.
Yeah. I used to play, I don't want to brag, but I used to play for the cathedral in Superior, Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for the bishop there.
Wow.
I played there. But you see, when you get fingers, like this one don't want to move where it should move, this one don't want to move, you know, it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Age does that. Doctor told me, he said, Mary, age will do the darndest thing to your body that you least think. And you don't want it, but it comes. And
Mhm.
people used to tell me that, and I thought, oh, how could that be like this? Oh, how could it? Now I know. Yeah. So, that's it. How about you playing now? And she's
Yeah.
going to take you a
All right.
picture of you playing.
Here you go.
I was just getting comfortable.
Do you play?
Not as well as Skip. I play a little.
Well,
I play when I.
anything. You got to play whatever you want.
We might be running out of a battery pretty soon.
Oh, are we?
It's blinking.
You got nice touch for piano playing, you really do.
Thank you. Now see the screen here.
Yeah.
All you have to do
Oh,
is
wait a
just,
minute, how do I hold
oh,
it?
here, put your
With your
hand through
finger.
here.
I don't want
Just
to
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
And
just
then
look at the screen,
Look at the screen.
and that's what you'll see.
Yeah, but then
So point it at his face.
I got it. But now what am I going to take for a picture of you?
It's all moving.
It's all moving.
Oh, it's pretty.
So
That's
then
nice.
We look back at, and then we go home and we can
we
stop
can put it on
it.
the TV.
We can stop it.
It's like a movie.
So it's all pictures.
Oh, you lucky person. Well, why don't you stand on those two there? Yeah, right there, there are two.
See?
Oh, that's nice, both of you.
Then we can turn it off.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Like it's still film.
Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice. You two make a good-looking couple.
We're like
It proves,
brothers.
it proves right here. That's right. Better hold her nice and our. That's the both of the nice, beautiful. I love this. You know, isn't that cute?
Yeah. And then we
And
can,
then we can play it.
because look at, if we put in the mirror, then we can all be seen.
Oh.
See? So now, see, so
Well,
watch. Like this.
Zoom it in. Zoom it up a little
See,
bit.
then we can even tighten it in. See, watch this. See?
Honestly,
Isn't that cool?
isn't that darling?
So you can see us all. Here, wave.
Here, she's my little sweetheart here. I love her.
There we
Here, go.
are.
Oh, darling, that'll say good night.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Sleep tight.
What a great day.
This doesn't feel natural.
I want to document it. Does it feel natural? What's not natural about this, Sarah?
You're looking at me with the video camera, and our conversation is more back and forth.
All right, fine. Just give me thoughts and impressions of the day.
It was fun. She is one of a kind. I was actually sitting there thinking that she's like totally a Saturday Night Live character. You know?
I thought that too, actually, when she was on the couch. I was kind of like I was trying to think of ways that I could mimic her, you know, like slouch and. Oh.
I don't know how you could, but yeah, you almost want to bring her for a show. And sometimes I felt bad, like laughing, like that part.
What part?
Well, one part when she was, I don't know what she's talking about, but I thought I felt bad laughing. And that one part was really sad about when she lost her kids. Oh, but laughing at like the birth, when she described going through birth,
Which one? Oh yeah, that was.
when she was in labor.
When she was in pain. I still can't. Oh my stars! She said that. Oh my stars! Okay, no, I want you to how did you?
Set your cruise.
You you have to push the button over there. It says cruise down on the front, like down here. Down. Like right. Hang on.
Okay, I'll look.
Okay, there it is. Now you hit this like down. There you go. That's 55.
60.
But you're gonna have to cancel in order to get it to set.
Why?
There you go. All right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Anyway, I want you to. How did you get the freak story?
Oh, we were in her bedroom. Did you know your grandparents didn't sleep together?
Yeah, isn't that weird? I was gonna ask her about that, but I didn't know what you went into regarding that.
I said, oh, you didn't sleep in the same bed? And she said something like, what's on there? But she said, no, you know, we were finished making our family, and she said some nights I'd crawl in bed with him and he'd crawl in bed with me, but otherwise we just like to sleep and we needed our room kind of thing. And then she had those pictures of Marty,
Yeah.
and she just started talking about him, and then something, I don't even know how she got on the subject, but it was that story again about the priests that, well, I kind of asked her about what we had talked about in the car, that thing she said about St. John's, and she's so glad maybe that Marty didn't live to, he might have been tempted to be floofy fluffing or whatever.
Oh, and we weren't even recording that, were we? Fluffer.
Fluffing or floofing.
He'd be tempted by. I don't know what he'd be tempted by.
So anyways,
Better men.
she started talking or I kind of was trying to get along that lines of thinking. And then she started talking about the story of he and some other guys must have been in the seminary or something, and there was some scandal with a priest and a nun, and I kind of just didn't think about anything, and then she said something about, and there was 15 priests involved or something, and she said it was scandalous, and I said, oh, did they all impregnate the nun, or what happened? Then I was like, wait a second, I know this story, and I said, what happened to the nun? And that's when she got into like, I love that she's so dramatic. Like,
Do your impression.
and she does this too.
Do you know what she does with her hand? Like this, like, like.
And she just like
rolls her eyes.
The whole body just like flops.
Oh! Let me tell you, girls. She never said girls. She always says, let me tell you, girls.
For a sec, it was funny because when we got in the car after Walmart, she kept referring to me as she, or she referred to me somehow that I thought, I don't think she knows my name. And just as I was thinking like, she doesn't know my name, she said, Sammy, you'll never believe it, or whatever. You betcha. She says that a lot.
And then, what did she say about the death? Like, they wish the kid would die.
They prayed for the child to die, and I said, why?
What did
and she said the thing about the horns too.
How did she say it? What did she
Well,
just
you'll
go?
have to see it.
I love the way you came up to me and you're like, oh, they would wish she died. There's only one sad thing, I think, in our interview tonight. Well, aside from the fact that I hate myself on camera, but,
The part about the baby,
what, if anything tonight, what do you think was kind of a downer?
the homosexual topic. We didn't tape that.
I did.
You did? How?
I just set the camera down,
Oh, I didn't know that.
put it on her.
Because actually I was thinking, this would be good to be taping.
Yeah, I taped it.
Yeah, that was kind of a downer.
You know, I thought for a moment that you were gonna out me.
Why?
Because you were like, oh, this one guy that we know, he's so nice, and I was
wasn't
thinking,
gonna out you.
well, I didn't know what you were getting at.
I was getting at more like we know people who are gay.
I was just thinking that you were going down
No.
because when we were with Keith and Ryan in San Diego, remember that?
No, that's not what I was doing. No, I wanted to just say like in general, we know someone. You and I both know of a different person who's gay, and we just know that they're a nice person.
That's the first time I ever talked to her about that.
Ever homosexuality?
Ever. They're dirty. Wow. That was pretty forceful. Oh,
Or
wow.
don't even associate with them. And I was like, no, these are really nice. In my mind, I was thinking Paul.
Yeah.
Like that's who.
In my mind, I was thinking this boy that you just kissed and hugged and thanked for this.
And said you're so precious and wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it was kind of a...
But then you think too, like there's a lot.
She couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle it. You know? She would never understand. If I told her.
But the thing is that's how a lot of people think. I mean, she represents.
She represents, I think, a lot of middle.
Which
the
to me,
Midwest.
for her to accept homosexuality is just as foreign to me to like accept her thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think, oh my God, she's so wrong, or how could she even be so close-minded? And I'm sure to us, she would think, how could they think that?
Oh, wow. It was a good day, though. I think we got most of the stuff that I really wanted to get. A lot of the stories that are like synonymous with her.
Oh my God.
What?
I've heard some of those stories where I'm like the third or fourth time.
So they're getting a little bit done now.
The story about going to St. John's and
On the two different
sitting on
couches.
this can you believe it? He's my husband. And let me sit on this couch.
Now we got him so we can listen to him over and
I
over
know.
and over. Well, that one we didn't tape.
No.
What other was a funny story? I kind of want to review and see what we did at Kentucky Fried Chicken. About.
Then it was funny that she interviewed me about the whole love thing.
That got weird.
Why?
Because you would say, I am really into someone who has the same morals, somebody who wants to share the responsibility. And she'd be, oh, that's nice, but what do you, that's all nice and good, but what do you feel about responsibility? Like, she was fishing for something, like, I don't know what she was getting at.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Maybe she wanted you to say, he needs to be Catholic. That wouldn't surprise me, I guess. Anyway, alright, let's look at stuff.